I'm here with Massimiliano Ghini, professor at University of Bologna and an expert in emotional intelligence in organizations. Professor Ghini, welcome to Aletea.
Thank you very much for having me.
A classroom is a team. A group of teachers is a team. A school is a team. How can we improve collaboration in all of these teams?
First of all, are you sure about the question? Really, a classroom is a team? I mean, if you define team as a group of people with the same goal and the need to interact in order to reach the goal, well, we have to ask ourselves if our class today is a team or if we need a team in order to accomplish our result in increasing learning, increasing human capabilities, and so on. My perception is nowadays, when we think about classrooms of students, is more about a group of individuals, all focused on their own results. And what we know is it's too complex now, the world we are in order to try to accomplish alone the things. And so collaboration is a must. But probably today we are not in the situation where really we manage classroom as team. As we don't manage usually schools as systems of teams. In the new model of organizations, the idea to create teams is because in teams it's easier to accomplish. But if you create a strong identity in one team, we teachers, you admin, then there's a problem for the overall organization. So we need to create a collaboration inside the team and then create a collaboration among teams. That's the challenge we have in front of us.
Okay, and how can we do that?
Well, very simply, using what we know about the brain. We are embedded for collaboration with mirror neurons, and we have studied and piece of research that explain clearly what we have to do. So first of all, we need to have fundamentals. So what is the purpose to work together? In the class, in the school, and then what is our common goal? Otherwise we are not a team. Let's define it. But it's not only a definition and you write it on a wall or on a paper, but it's to live with this goal and to check it if the perception of people inside the class or inside the school is really aligned with that. Do we really declare or we really live this kind of goal? So fundamentals, purpose, goal, and roles. Then you have the need to create social capital. Social capital is a mediator and is composed by trust or psychological safety, identity, and our capability to collaborate. And we have some norms that permit us to increase the social capital, and social capital increase the probability to be an high-performing team or a team of teams. So the key here is to work on norms, because sometimes we try to fix individuals when we should try to fix environments and context, because it's easier and it's all about norms. Creating norms, it's easier than to ask people to change behaviors.
So the goal is not just to declare it, but to live.
Yes,
unfortunately. Yes, but maybe it will have a good end. So, in your area of expertise, research shows that emotional intelligence of the whole team is perhaps more important than individual emotional intelligence. Why is it more important?
Well, a team is not the sum of the individuals. In a team, 1 + 1 equals 3, 2, 1, depending on the social capital we have created. So it's not said that a group with the best individuals in terms of capabilities or competencies in emotional intelligence or analytical skills could beat a team that has created an interesting social capital. So what we know is that team emotional intelligence is not the sum on the individual emotional intelligence. Because what we know is that, I mean, for instance, me, I have high or low emotional intelligence, it doesn't matter. But in some team, I give my best. In other team, my worst. Because it's the context that influence my behavior. And that's what we need to work on really scientifically, because it's all about systems. It's not about the intuition, it's about creating a system that permits you to manage a culture. And let me say, sometimes we discuss about empathy and so on. Of course, individual emotional intelligence is so important for your sustainability in life, in order to transform emotion, managing stress, and obtain individual results. And it's okay to train on empathy and so on. But if you want to reduce, for instance, the level of bullyism inside the school, you need to create norms. What is acceptable, what is not acceptable? Because if I train on empathy, but then you go in your class and it's allowed to say something bad on another people because you feel strong and so on. Wow, you can work on empathy, but then if you have the system that doesn't support this kind of behavior, it's a mess.
How can team emotional intelligence be achieved?
First of all, understanding that you need it. Sometimes we have collaboration as an individual goal, and it's quite an oxymoron. And so if we believe, and I believe, that is so complex that collaboration is mandatory, is not a nice to have, then you ask, okay, how can I create a team at a high level of emotional intelligence? So first of all, you have to create awareness of the need, first of all, and permit people, if they are willing to do it, to go through research and understand rationally the things. And then it's all about practice. I mean, when we think about norms, it's not enough to say, in our team, we don't treat badly people, because then you have to practice. And that's the reason why when we talk about expertise, I mean, okay, you could be an expert, but the point is practice, train, and every hour in a class, every hour in a meeting, it's an opportunity to train this kind of behaviors. What you need is a system that permits you with regularity to check how the things are going. So every 3 months, probably you need to stop a little bit with the team and say, okay, what went wrong, what went well, what do we need to change? Because the norms are adaptable, but we need to share it. And one of the points is the shared responsibility. It's not all on the shoulder of the teacher or the chief of the school and so on. If we want to create a collaborative environment, we need to say that it's a shared responsibility, because if I'm the leader, I'm not always there when people interact and so on. So let's define the norm, let's engage people, 3-5 norms, not more, and then let's try to practice. After 3 months, we see, do we really need this kind of norm? No. Okay, let's change it, let's skip it, and maybe we can use another one. And each team will create different norms, because the needs are different, of course. But all the teams needs to have a purpose, so answer to the question why we're working together, what we have to accomplish together, the goal, what are our roles. Because when we talk about a peer-to-peer culture, it doesn't mean democracy. It doesn't mean we decide raising our hands. I mean, the teacher has a huge responsibility. But considering he or she is an intelligent person, engaging people, it means increasing empowerment, increasing engagement, and increasing the willingness to follow the rules you build together with the others. So that's the key, shared responsibility, involvement of people in this process. Because analytically speaking, and from research, it's really easy to understand it. If you ask people what are the key drivers of performance in a team, what differentiate an high-performing team from an average one. They know it. But the real problem is to practice, to be at the level of our aspiration and expectations. And the only way to arrive there is to create the system and then practice. And permit yourself to fail. Permit the team to fail if it's a learning. Okay, we learned that this thing for us is not good. Okay, what's the next step?
Thank you very much, Professor Ghini.
You're more than welcome. Thank you very much.